Real stars have no names. They just
How
shine.
you guys doing today?
Yeah.
Special edition,
Yeah.
Funk from the Front Seat. We have with us today Peppermint Patty, Larry Funkster Jones, and George the Funkavinci from Texas. We're here to spread our peace, love, and harmony to all those who had to suffer this terrible tragedy in Texas this past week and also last week in Buffalo. We need everybody to put your hands together for a moment of silence and just pray with us for a minute as we bring this show together and bring everybody on to speak from their hearts. We want everybody to know the Club FUNKATEERS and Club FUNKATEER ambassadors, Boosie Collins and Patty Collins, care very, very much about things around the world that are happening. And we just wanted to make sure that we wrap our arms around Texas and Buffalo, and that the United States and the world understands what the Club FUNKATEERS is all about. So without further ado, welcome to the special edition of Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. And I'm going to bring in my special guest today to offer some heartfelt thoughts and condolences. Y'all hang out with us for a minute, okay? Hi, Patty.
Hi, Zach.
How are you?
Thank
Thanks for
you.
joining us.
I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me and our beautiful team today. And thank you for this lift up for everyone. This message is from Bootsy and myself and all of our Club Funketeers, our ambassadors around the world. Let us unite in spirit and purpose for those who have lost their children, lost their teachers, lost their friends, their grandmothers. It's just so, words can't even describe how I feel right now. And we're just so very sorry that this has happened in Texas. It's happened in Buffalo. We just had a shooting here in Cincinnati last night at a Walmart. So it's tough times right now with these things that are going on. But we want everyone to know we're neighbors. We as Funketeers lift you up. We send to you through the airways of Funk from the Front Seat love, strength, and encouragement, and endurance as we send our spirit of unity to you all right now. That's what I wanted to say. And we will be praying for you from Cincinnati, Ohio, spreading love, spreading love, spreading love. Thank you, Zach, for having me.
Thank you,
May God
Peppermint
bless
Patty.
you.
God bless you. You
Thank
have a
you.
beautiful day. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Thank
Namaste.
you. Namaste.
That was the amazing Peppermint Patty. Mr. Funkster Jones, could you move over a little bit in the camera so I can see you a little bit more, a little bit better? There you go. That was the amazing Peppermint Patty. Of course, y'all know what her and Bootsy are about. And again, we felt as Club Funketeer members and ambassadors, and Patty and Bootsy felt that, we need to get a message out and let the world know we care. We care. Right now, we have a gentleman that was supposed to be here. Hector Garcia, unfortunately, is very, very busy, undoubtedly helping those down there recover from this terrible tragedy. But I was able to get another good brother of mine and a well-known, designer, artist, and amazing brother, a veteran. So he understands, some of these things about some of the gun laws. And I wanted to get someone on from Texas. And, I'm honored to have, George the Funkavinci to offer his thoughts and his condolences. George, welcome to the show. I wish it was under better circumstances, but, we have to trudge on, like Patty said, and keep spreading the love, brother. And unfortunately, things like this are going to happen, and we do have to bring light to this and make sure you guys in Texas know Club FUNKATEERS, ambassadors, FUNKATEERS around the world, and everyone else feels your pain. So welcome, George the Funkavinci.
Thank you for having me, brother. Yeah.
My pleasure.
It's just rough, man. My biggest sympathies and prayers go out to that family, to their families. Waking up to see that happening, total shocker. It's been going on quite a bit. Like I said, every state pretty much got somebody that's doing that. And these gun laws need to be tightened up. Because, out here in the state of Texas, you can be 18 years old and buy a rifle. 18. That's too young. They need to raise that up to 21 like the handguns, and then do a more advanced a background check. You see? It's too soft. The laws are too soft, man.
Yeah.
We're paying for it.
Yeah, we are, man. What is the general mood of the people that were not directly affected but understand they may have had a loss in their family? Or what is the general mood about how to heal? Because I don't want to focus on exactly what happened, although that's what this is about. But how can we, me personally, Funkster Jones, the club, how do we directly help you?
Well, I mean, prayer is the first, thing, because that always helps, letting it spread, like you're doing what you're doing now, spreading the word, around to everybody, letting them know that this is a thing, okay, that is going on, and that we all need to, stop this, and explaining to people out there what should happen to keep things like this from happening. You see, that's the biggest part, because I don't know nobody directly, that need, more help. But the way things are out here, everybody is tensed up. People are scared to send their kids to school now. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't want to send my kid to school. I would homeschool from now on, being that anybody can just walk on a campus and bring firearms, you see? So I wouldn't want my kid out there. I'm glad my kids aren't in school no more.
Yeah. I have two daughters, 14 and 18, and every time they go anywhere, I cringe.
Yeah, because you don't know. Nobody knows the day or the hour.
We don't know, man. We don't know.
See?
It's just so sad, I want you to hang out with us for a minute, and I'm going to bring in the Club FUNKATEER Ambassador President, Larry Vern Jones. Y'all know him as Funkster Jones, and he has some words of encouragement and wisdom. And Mr. President, I'm going to give you the floor, sir.
All right. Thank you, Zach, for having me. Thank you, George, for the speech you made. That was beautiful. My slogan is alive by God. And that happens because every day you have to give praise to the one above, because without him, nothing's possible. Even when the bad things happen, you still have to praise him for that, because some bad things happen because they have to bring about change. And this has to change a lot of things, because it can't keep going like it's going. And it's really a sad thing. My heartfelt condolences goes out to the families of people in Texas and the people in Buffalo. I mean, you just gotta look. We gotta go out every day. People need to go outside and look up and say, "Thank you, Lord. Please keep our nation of people safe." People, just all your friends and family, everybody in the world, not just the nation, the whole world, because it eventually affects the whole world. It's just not going to affect Texas and Buffalo. It's going to affect Pittsburgh and Dallas and all the other cities. Because they emulate stuff in this country. What do football teams do when they play? One team wins the Super Bowl, the next year team copies their their theme for how to play. So other crazy people in the world, which we wish you didn't have any, or people with mental problems or whatever they have, you don't want them to see that stuff. Like, but they see it, so they figure, well, why don't I bring that to this city? Why don't I do that to this city? So we have to be aware. We have to pay more attention. And I don't have any kids, but I'm telling you, it's got to be terrifying, like George said, and Zach, you said, to send your kid. I can't even imagine, like, go to school and you're working all day, hard work, doing your thing. You got to worry about what's happening with them, what kind of report you might get later in the day after you had a good day. You have to come to that, because I can't even imagine what those people are going through. You feel for them, but you're like, it's just deep. And I know we got to bring a change. And it has to come from the people, because where's it going to come from? It has to come from the people. You talk to your brothers and sisters, your smaller brothers and sisters, your nephews and nieces. Talk to them. Tell them to talk to their friends. Look, find out about those kind of people. If they got mental problems or something wrong with them, try to get them to get some help, so they don't go out there hurting other people. Because that's the part that's totally sad, because you don't want it to continue, and that really breaks my heart, because I'm all about unity. My slogan is "People FUNKATEERS of the world unite," but that's basically everybody, not just FUNKATEERS. That's just regular people. Funk is regular. Funk is life, which means everybody has life, right? So if I'm talking about FUNKATEERS, life, that's everybody. So we want everybody to be safe. We want everybody to practice, like teaching their young ones what's wrong to do and what's right to do, and the right paths to take when they have wrong people doing wrong things.
You're right about that, brother. And what I'm going to do is ask you to hang out for a minute. I'm going to ask you what you give a funk about George the Funk Vinci. I'm going to also ask you what you give a funk about as well, because that's one of the mantras of the Club FUNKATEERS and Club FUNKATEER ambassadors. We ask, hey, what do you give a funk about? Okay. But what I wanted to do right now, I'm going to bring in a second my producer, Mr. Mark Leon. He has some very interesting news for us, but I'm going to bring him on. But before I do that, unfortunately today, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Hector Garcia could not be here, like I mentioned earlier, but he did send me a written statement that I'm about to read to you that he wanted me to read. And he wanted me to read this with love and compassion. And I'll try to do my best to convey his thoughts. And this is from Hector Garcia. All you guys know who he is. And he mentioned, Valdez, Texas, ROBB Elementary School, Club FUNKATEER ambassadors and Club FUNKATEERS, and all of funk soldiers around the world. Thoughts and heartfelt condolences go out to the victims, families, and friends of the entire ROBB Elementary School and UVALDE community. I'm sorry, I've said Valdez. It's UVALDE community. The Funk is a worldwide community of peace and love, and we offer our support, love, and prayers as we wrap our arms around to help you heal and get through this horrific tragedy. The Funk community is about love, like Funkster Jones says, and that message of hope is what I believe Hector wanted us to feel, even though he couldn't be here today. And to the Valdez, UVALDE community and the community at large in Texas, as well as Buffalo and the New York State community, we send our prayers, condolences, and thoughts. Some of us, this is quite a hard day. So sometimes, things like this, emotional people like me, we get shook, but, I'm blessed to have so many support people around. And then I'm going to come back and tell you a little something after Mark speaks and tell you what I give a funk about after I let you guys speak. Right now, my producer, y'all know him as Mr. Mark Lee, the man behind the glass, 9 on the Grind TV, Club FUNKATEER, member, and also, the producer of this show, so check it out, Funk from the Front Street. How you doing, Mark?
I'm doing good. Definitely a very sad day and sad week here in America with all that's going on and all of that. As I was telling you back behind the stage and everything, I'm just well, one, as one that doesn't have any kids, but I do have my two nephews. I know that if anything happened to them, I would definitely be devastated and definitely would not be taking it very well. And the fact that, as one of your fellow Funkateers said, that you can just go out and purchase a gun and purchase an assault rifle at that is just plainly wrong, and definitely some things have to be done about this, and some serious changes have got to be made, and all along those lines. And like I was telling you backstage earlier and everything, the fact that the NRA would even have the nerve to have their conference and their national conference in Texas after this tragedy, because that is going on this weekend as well, is just totally wrong, because they are actually having their conference in Houston on this particular day after that tragedy happened there in San Antonio. And I just found that incredibly impossible to believe that they would not have the nerve to do that, and one not be trying to make some serious changes. I am definitely one that believes that folks have the right to protect themselves and all along those lines, but there are some serious guns out there, military style guns, and I cannot see a good purpose for those guns whatsoever. If you're a collector, there are ways that you can adjust those so that they are never fired and never used in that sense. And if you're telling me you're using them for deer hunting or rabbit hunting, and you know where we live at Durham, we see the deers and the rabbits, and assault rifle, there's not going to be any venison or rabbit left for you to eat. So like I said, it makes absolutely no sense in my mind.
How did you feel about what actually happened and how to heal?
I mean, definitely, I felt devastated. I've been on a couple of shows, both my own as well as a couple of others, including our good friend Brian, and actually his friend Nancy is a guidance counselor. A speech pathologist, and we've all been very devastated, very upset by what's going on, and we are just, as we have said on several platforms that I've been on, enough is enough. We can't have it anymore. It's time for change. It's time for people to actually shut up and actually do some action. Don't give us lip service. Don't do any of that kind of stuff, but actually make some positive changes, make some changes in the way that things are done. Nobody should have that kind of easy access to a gun, or particularly an assault rifle. And definitely there have got to be some serious changes going on in this world. I just am too devastated by what has happened, and I am very upset about it. And I just think that there has got to be some serious changes made in what we are doing. And if folks are not going to make those changes, they need to be voted out of office, because it's time for the, and I hate to put it this way, but I'm just going to be blunt, it's time for the BS to stop. So it's time for some serious changes to be made, and for folks to actually be in offices that are willing to make those changes, and all along those lines. And if it's somebody like a Ted Cruz, who's there in Texas, and some of these other avid gun advocates and everything, it's time for them to just step aside and get out of the way of true progress. And please don't be bringing in other issues and trying to muddy the waters with those issues as well, because we've also seen people that are trying to use Roe and some of the other things as a red herring and a way to not even deal with what they are really needing to face. And this is one of the tough issues that we need to deal with in this day and time.
You're right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for popping on. Again, this is an abbreviated version of Funk from the Front Seat, Not on the Grind TV, in lieu of us, speaking for the Club Funkateers. I have the Club Funkateer president here, Larry Vern Jones. Y'all know him as Funkster Jones, and I have a brother from Texas, the Funkavinci. Those of you tuning in to see Hector Garcia, he wasn't able to make it today. Undoubtedly, he's busy, has his hands full. And of course, my producer, Mr. Mark Lee. Thanks, Mark, for jumping in, man. I appreciate you, man. God bless you, bro.
No problem.
So Funkster Jones, we got about like 7 minutes left in the special edition. So basically, I wanted to ask you any parting words or thoughts. And George, I'm going to give you the last big screen before I speak. Any parting words or thoughts that you may have for the families and friends of the Uvalde, Texas community?
Yeah, we just like to say again, our heartfelt condolences go out to all of them, and we want you to keep the faith in what you believe, because we know you believe in all positivity, and we know you believe in the Lord. Only God can fix it, but we as people, God give us a mind to speak our minds. We have to change ourselves first, and to help our younger people help their friends and family members, because we can't be there for everybody, but you can only help who you can help. But you got to keep the faith, and keep believing, because it's got to go up. It's got to get better, because it can only get worse if we let it. We have to change something, and we have to change our way of thinking totally to eliminate all the stuff that's going on. We have to do it. It's not a matter of wanting to, it's a matter of we got to do it. Plain and simple. That's how it is. So my heartfelt condolences go out again to the families of Buffalo and the families of Texas. Our prayers are always with you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. George DeFunkavinci, you're right there in Texas. And, I'm going to give you, last words and thoughts or words of encouragement that you may have also for the Uvalde, Texas community and the families and friends of the ROBB Elementary School.
Yeah, to the, all the people in Uvalde and at that school had to go through all that. My prayers deeply being sent out to them, and not only to them, to everyone that had to go through something similar to this. My prayers to God for them, and I just hope that this doesn't happen again in no capacity, but only God can knows that. But I think that like Mark was saying, that they need to tighten up on everything on when it comes to these gun laws, and it all boils down to money, as to why they not messing with NRA. But nobody really wants to talk about all that. When they do, it's a quick minute and they shove it under the rug. Well, this can't be shoved under a rug, because let's take up the rug and turn it all and show the concrete. Let's get these gun laws in place to where it's a lot tighter, to where nothing like this is gonna happen again. Make it tougher. To own a firearm. Period, handgun or rifle. Because if there was strict laws with that, this probably wouldn't happen. We're the only country that has these things happening at least once or twice a month, okay, and so many times within a year. We're the only country that do that. Why? Why? It's because of the gun laws and the inefficiency to do something about it. They can do something about it, but I don't think someone, people, the powers that be want to really. It's only when it hits home to somebody of power, when some of their kids are affected by this, then, and probably only then, will something transpire that'll fix some of this stuff. It shouldn't be that way, but that's what it looked like. And my prayers go out to these folks, because this is no way good, and it didn't have to happen. It didn't have to happen. And people should lock these weapons up. The parents, they should lock these weapons up. Ain't no way this kid shouldn't have been able to get a hold of that kind of stuff. So yeah, I mean, that's all I got to say about that. And they, man, just put the prayers in there.
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate you, man. Basically, I just want to let people know, I give a funk about the world, and I care about what happens to each and every person on this planet. None of us are perfect. My thoughts to Buffalo, my thoughts to Texas, California, like Patty said, Cincinnati, down here in North Carolina, New York, wherever. It could be Paris, France, it could be anywhere. The Creator created us in his image to be this good thing. And somehow, you know, the darkness running wild has corrupted even young babies. When you have young babies, and an 18-year-old kid is a young baby, it's a baby, you know, they're not grown yet. They may think they're grown, but they're not. They're still a child. They are children. Children killing children. When children feel trapped and hopeless and feel that they have nowhere else to turn to but take their anger out on another child, we're in some deep stuff. And ironically, today, you know, our new song, United We Stand Uncut version, was dropping. We plan to drop it on Memorial Day weekend back in January. So hopefully you guys will download this song, understand the lyrics and the words and what the title means. United, we stand. Divided, we fall. And that's my message out to America. That's my message out to the world. And I just want everybody to understand, listen, we're in this thing together. We all have to get this thing stopped, not under control. We have to stop it. Otherwise, there will be no more children left. Like the mastermind of the mothership, George Clinton, said, America eats its young, and we are all part of America, you know? So we have to stop it. And the only way to stop it is, like all three of these gentlemen said, just vote. We have to vote these people out. If we do not vote these people out, the same things will continue to happen. Again, on behalf of everybody here on my panel, Larry Vern Jones, known as Funkster Jones, George the Funkavinci, my producer, Mr. Mark Lee, and of course, the amazing Peppermint Patty on behalf of Bootsy Collins and the Club Funkateer ambassadors and Club Funkateer members and all the true funk soldiers around the world. I want to thank you for tuning in to this Funk from the Front Seat special edition, 9 on the Grind TV. Love you guys. Pray for you guys. And please let us pray for the country. We're going to end like we started with, we love these people. We send prayers, peace, and love to you. God bless you.
Just come on home to me. Still fail to mention, you still have my attention. All I think about is coming home to you. And I know that you're so far away. In my heart, you will always stay. I promise to come home to you. About you, that's all I do is think about you. And you never thought about enemies on the prowl like I know why. What's a man supposed to do living without you? So lift your head up. What you're crying for, some things I would die for. Without you, dying in the way. Know you said you need a break. Wondering when we'll meet again. Without you, dying in the way.
I love you guys out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, Funk from the Front Seat.
There you go. Y'all take care.
Seat, baby.
There you go.